what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode with your boy iTrack. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are facts or fake. Big shout out to all the iTrack fan man, especially everybody that's been paying attention. If you didn't know by now, there's a big difference between Star Trek and Star Wars. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it.
Did you know Oprah Winfrey has been securing Maui land like it's a trending bestseller? In just 2023, she invested in a vast 520-acre plot for $3.89 million, then went for another 330 acres at $2.47 million, not to mention the two 10-acre patches she bought in 2022 for $100,000 each. From a mere 100 acres in Maui, Oprah now commands over 1,000 acres. But here's the twist. Amidst this real estate surge, a sudden fire happens, destroying homes nearby, but leaving her vast terrains unscathed. Does that ring a bell? Think back to 2017. A deadly fire consumed homes near her Montecito mansion, yet once again, Oprah's property emerged untouched. And after that event, she expanded her Montecito land holdings to a whopping 70 acres, even snapping up a 4-acre complex in 2019, which was decimated by mudslides shortly after the 2017 fire. The connections, the acquisitions, and the timing are definitely food for thought. Stay tuned with us for more mysteries and money tales. What do you think about these coincidences? Share your theories in the comments and let's unravel this together.
On one hand, it's like, if you had $1 billion, wouldn't you buy up all the land you could? On the second hand, it's kind of like those timelines are kind of alluding to something, but without any hard facts, all you can do is assume.
Are the images that we see of aliens accurate? Are they these short creatures with huge heads, big eyeballs?
Not really. I mean, there are some that resemble that a little bit. There's one species that's about 39 inches tall, but the skin color of, sort of a brownish gray, no hair, very fine lips, no external pinna, ear flaps, the chimpanzee ears we have. They don't have those. They just have an opening. There are others that are much larger. Remember, there's at least 60 to 70 species that have been cataloged, the people I've worked with. I think Sergeant Stone said there were, at that time, 68 or 69 species. And some they're various sizes and what have you. So a lot of that's sort of a caricature in pop culture. I'll also just say, be careful of what's out there in that kind of public domain. A lot of that is disinformation, false info. Because the ones that are the caricature you're talking about are actually man-made ones that are made to look alien and aren't. Those are the ones that are using all kinds of technologies to quote-unquote abduct people. Those aren't being done by extraterrestrials. Those are being done by the fake aliens. And we have a whole dossier on that, going back to the late 50s, early 60s.
It feels like we're getting closer and closer to what's actually happening right now around the world as far as UFO and aliens go.
Darkest conspiracy theories. The Earth virus theory. This theory says that the Earth is a living organism, and the humans are the virus. It is easier to understand it if you compare it to the human body. If we get sick, we create antibodies to get rid of the virus. And in the same sense, the Earth creates its antibodies to get rid of the virus. Natural disasters, droughts, wildfires, all these things happen so that the Earth can clear itself from the plague that in this case are we.
Dang, I would hate to think that Mother Earth thinks of mankind as some sort of a disease.
This is a groundbreaking discovery that has completely revolutionized our understanding of the origins of humankind. In 2013, two cave explorers, Stephen Tucker and Rick Hunter, ventured into a complex cave system in South Africa named Rising Star. During their cave exploration, they bravely penetrated into a perilous underground chamber that no one had dared to venture into before due to its narrow 18 centimeters entrance. Their courage was richly rewarded as they stumbled upon an astonishing sight that left scientists worldwide astonished. Before their eyes lay numerous scattered human skeletal remains in the chamber. Immediately, the two explorers returned and contacted a team of scientists to jointly investigate the origins of these bones. After extensive collection and meticulous analysis, the scientists made an extraordinary announcement. These were the remains of an entirely new human species previously unknown to us. They named this species Homo naledi. This ancient group has a very peculiar appearance. Their average height is only 1.48 meters with a slender figure but remarkably wide hips, resembling the descriptions of dwarf tribes in ancient civilizations' records.
I could believe that, and I'm sure there's many more species too.
Yeah, I think it's time to start questioning TMZ as covert intelligence. You remember when Kanye was freaking out? He said that he had a Canadian covert intelligence guy that would, put him in a mental institution and shit. Woman from in-flight freakout, Tiffany Gomas, emotional apology, no excuse for profanity. 8/13/2023, 1 a.m. in the morning. Tiffany herself didn't even post the video until 3:20 p.m. That's almost 14 hours later. It is 14 hours later. And I caught this screenshot while I still could. TMZ and TMZ Live for the first two accounts that she followed on Twitter. So I got the first 16. I took a picture of all of them. And worth noting, TMZ made sure they put this picture up there where they show that she's doing the Baphomet hand symbol. Y'all are fucking stupid, bro. Y'all cannot be this sloppy. Oh, Harvey, you're in trouble after this one, bro. TMZ's going fucking down.
Okay, so there's more to the story.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tiffany Gomas, probably better known as the Crazy Plane Lady, which is completely warranted. As you know, I have been unwilling to speak on the viral video, but I do finally feel that it's time. First and foremost, I want to take full accountability for my actions. They were completely unacceptable. Distressed or not, I should have been in control of my emotions, and that was not the case. My use of profanity was completely unnecessary, and I want to apologize to everyone on that plane, especially those that had children aboard. Can't imagine going through that and trying to explain to your kid what in the world just happened. We all have our bad moments, some far worse than others, and mine happened to be caught on camera for the whole world to see multiple times. Sorry, trying not to sound like Minnie Mouse. Well, it has been really comical for everyone, and I have highly enjoyed so many of the memes. On the flip side, it is very invasive and unkind, and I don't know what I would do without the love and support of my friends and family. They are loyal to a fault, and I don't know what I did to deserve them. Sorry, y'all. I hope that I can use this experience and do a little bit of good in the world, and that is what I intend to do. I hope that you guys can accept my apology and I can begin to move on with my life.
See, that's just more proof. Sometimes you gotta let the smoke clear. A lot of people said that she disappeared and, she just vanished, her and her whole family vanished.
It's like, we went to the moon, and then they put out this meme kind of thing, like, we didn't go to the moon, but they didn't want people really going, well, what's on the moon?
He said to me, in a very distressed way, by the way, we've discovered a base on the backside of the moon. And then he proceeded to put photographs down in front of me, and clearly in these photographs were structures, mushroom-shaped buildings, spherical buildings, and towers.
One of the astronauts is looking down as they're going across the moon looking for a landing site, and he says, "Look at those convex domes down there." And then Neil goes, "I bet the people down there never get out." And that's on the black box audio.
I have no doubt that extraterrestrials could very well have populated or made structures on the far side of the moon.
Good old Billy. He's always getting to the bottom of something, that's for sure.
When your physical body dies, don't go to the light. It is a Saturn matrix trap that pulls your soul into the draconian star system so you can incarnate into another body. The Pleiadians are on the moon creating an artificial light, a mini vacuum that pulls your light body into another body so you can be used as a food source. The light sends your body to the Draco star system, and they will eat you. Never go towards the light. You must stay in darkness or go into the multicolored light.
That must be the same light people talk about when they have a near-death experience.
Hunter Biden faces tax and gun charges. Why might he avoid jail? Charges brought against Hunter Biden suggest he's cooperating with the investigation. He's set to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges, which usually result in fines, not jail time. The charges are linked to a combined income of $3 million over 2 years. Hunter Biden settled this tax debt in 2021. Settling after the deadline doesn't erase a committed crime. Taxpayers need to understand, not all tax failures lead to jail. Most don't become criminal cases unless fraud or evasion is evident. The IRS closely investigates high-income taxpayers who intentionally dodge taxes. But usually, if you work with tax authorities, you're less likely to face criminal charges.
I got a feeling that he wasn't going to go to jail either way.
Evil spirits exist and roam the earth as the winds travel the atmosphere. These embodied spirits are trapped here on the physical realm, not being able to transcend to higher realms because of their love for the physical or simply because of their low vibrations of ether. They use the living to fulfill their desires, fantasies, dreams, and pleasure. They feed off your fear, your worries, and depression. Their scientists opens up a vortex, obliterating an atom by using the Hadron Collider. This resulted in more ghoul and demon spirits from the lower abode to have access to the physical world. They roam during the day, while more of these legions come between the hours of from 2:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m., using those who are drunken or intoxicated, making them do things they normally don't do. Yet you open yourself up to them when you're angry, drunk, intoxicated, listening to their music, their tone and vibrations. It's almost like when someone calls your name, and you look to see who's calling you. It's the same with spirits. They respond to their
And that's a fact. That's why you got to keep your energy right at all times.
It's dark. We hear the tribal leader talking about this. What was he saying, and what were we seeing in these first few seconds of this news report?
This incident began when a 15-year-old girl was abducted by strange beings in the jungle. She was able to break free from her captors. She ran back to the village. She sustained lacerations to her neck, and when the villagers found her, she was in a state of shock, absolutely terrorized. They assumed that whoever had attempted to abduct her were human, and so they grabbed their guns and they started running through the jungle looking for these individuals. And instead of finding human beings, what they encountered were these strange entities, which the villagers themselves are calling extraterrestrials. And they've been terrorized not just one day, but ongoing for weeks. And this has been happening primarily at nighttime.
I just find it kind of strange that they come at night and all they're doing is basically torturing the people. So maybe they are just demons feeding off that fear and feeding off the demise.
In 1982, Roger Monroe predicted that demons would disguise themselves as aliens at the end of time.
That as the times on this planet gets more and more difficult, and calamities of all kinds are striking the planet more and more frequently. He says the grand plan, the master's grand plan, for harvesting the nations, for harvesting the multitudes of the earth into his cause, just before the close of the great controversy between the forces of good and evil. And he said it's going to be done in a unique manner. This grand plan is going to take people are going to eat the stuff, because he says spirits, demon spirits, will declare themselves to be inhabitants of far distant planets in the galaxies that are coming to warn the inhabitants of planet Earth of the impending destruction of the planet, unless something seriously proper is done to avoid it. And he went on saying that they will claim to have out-of-body experiences when the spirits will, through a trance medium, converse with influential people. Spirits will show themselves willing to give valuable guidance that will not only help people avoid the destruction of the planet, but it will cause them to enter into a higher state of existence.
Oh yeah, see, he was spilling tea because he knew.
How did we go from this to this, from this to this, or even from this to this? Where did this dangerous death of detail come from? Here's a theory. This phone booth has an identity conveyed through its details, its color, its moldings, its ornaments. This one lacks detail and thus lacks character. Beauty was forced to give way to simplicity, to efficiency, to affordability. This is evident in company logos, which have been simplified over the past decades. The problem with detail is that we all have different tastes. Minimalism makes things neutral. Here one might think, this isn't to my taste. I don't like these colors. But there, it's almost hard to have an opinion when the item has been so reduced to its practical purpose. Details might not align with someone's tastes, so details were simply removed. Perhaps we've sunk into this minimalism because the individual has nothing left to express, nothing left to appreciate. Money reigns supreme and dictates our choices. We need to show we have it, while saving as much as possible. This product can easily sell worldwide, while this one is tied to a culture confined to it. Thus, every corner of the world begins to look alike, neutral, devoid of identity. The world becomes bland. Colors and shapes have vanished, and with them, diversity, beauty, and simply life itself.
Now that whole clip was a gem.
About America's future than I am today. I mean that sincerely. As you can tell, I've only been around a few years. Like 400. Folks, let me conclude by saying we just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. I mean it. Nothing beyond our capacity if we do it together. So God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Already thinking about ways for the state to acquire that land so that we can put it into workforce housing.
Yo, somebody's been lying. All right, for one, this is a perfect setup. No such thing as a coincidence. I already told you about the smart homes and the AI takeover.
You've already kissed this.
In the next couple of months, we're going to see exactly what they got planned for Hawaii for sure.
You've already kissed this woman in your life. I'll prove it to you. In the 1880s, a body floats in the Seine in Paris, surpassing notice and pulled from the water. The body belongs to a young woman in her 20s. She's sent to the morgue where an employee reportedly falls in love with her and makes a death mask of her face. Her body is also displayed in front of the morgue, so passers-by can observe it, which was quite normal at the time when the identity of a victim was unknown. All the passers-by are hypnotized by the beauty and serenity of her face. A molding workshop then starts to mass-produce her mask. This face then becomes known as the unknown woman of the Seine and rapidly becomes a decorative item in Parisian living rooms. Then in 1950, while the face has already been forgotten, a toy maker gives it new life. He creates the first resuscitation mannequin and needs a face that inspires serenity. He uses the face of the unknown woman of the Seine, which becomes the face of all resuscitation mannequins around the world. So if you've been trained in first aid, you've already kissed this face. However, the mystery remains, who is this unknown woman? Some claim she would have ended her life by jumping into the water, while specialists explain that it's impossible she drowned, as her face would have been swollen by the water. Subscribe for more videos.
So she was viral before viral was even a thing.
Yeah, we was in the party and I looked over, you know, everybody had a dude go. And I looked at him and just was like...
Was he beard and glasses and everything?
I just dropped my head and said, damn.
And it looks as if Rose may have a doppelganger roaming around out here. Because at the party, there was this man who looked strikingly similar to Ross there partaking in the festivities. In a video that surfaced online, Rick Ross and Russell Simmons all laughed together with this man as they showed off just how much he and Rick Ross looked alike. While speaking with Hip Hop DX, Russell Simmons actually revealed that he couldn't tell the difference between this man and Rick Ross.
What does it feel like, Rose, when you see cats that come up to you looking like you?
Beard and everything.
You know, at one time,
I'll see somebody and be like, man, look at some fake ass Rick Ross looking one.
You know, at one time it was a dude that was, doing walkthrough shows.
Yeah, shows in saying they're you.
Yeah, dude who I heard one time got hit in a club. And,
Damn.
I'm like, yo, come on, man.
Have you ever?
I've seen, it's really, it was a couple of them at one time, and I actually just left Dubai, where it was someone who had operation.
Damn.
To look like you?
Right.
Damn.
That doesn't scare you?
He just spent $50,000 for a table at an after party to be by me in Dubai. A few days.
Is it like it's not someone trying to like pose as you, they just want like out of like love for you to do
I'm
it?
gonna be honest, that's going too far, family.
Hell yeah.
That's hella far.
I really don't appreciate it. Meaning, just saying, I appreciate all the love from a fan, but yo, don't do that. Man.
Yeah.
Like, I want to look
right
like this dude. I'm going under the knife.
Somebody with money and just went through the whole 9 yards.
Did you see him when he had the table? Could you see him?
I seen him, man. I seen him.
Is he from Dubai?
Yeah, he's from out there. They told me about him the whole day. He wanted the pages to come by the hotel room and take a picture, say what's up. But, that ain't happened. So,
he didn't get it.
Yeah, we was in the party, and I looked, though, everybody let a dude go. And I looked at him and just was like.
Was he beard and glasses and everything?
I just dropped my head and said, damn.
Shoot, how much would it have taken to take?
Hey, that man look more like Rick Ross than fucking Rick Ross. Clone?
50,000 to look like Rick Ross. Nah, that's going too far.
Moon vampire or a woman cast out from society. Let's break down who was found in this grave from 17th century Poland, what that means, and why it's significant. First off, let's go over who this might have been. Researchers say the skeleton likely belonged to a young woman, perhaps of high standing, due to the fact that she was buried in a silk scarf. Also pay close attention to her front tooth, which appears to jut out ever so slightly. We'll get back to that in a moment. Something else important to note is the macabre manner in which she was laid to rest. Positioned over her throat is a sickle, and attached to her toe is a padlock. Strategic preparations, researchers say, to fight off vampirism or supernatural forces. Apparently, this type of burial practice was pretty common for that time. There were a lot of ways of living essentially mutilated the dead out of fear that they would rise up again from their graves, especially after dying violently or living a life that was perhaps looked down upon. Researchers described a number of methods to the Washington Post, cutting off a dead person's head or legs, burying them face down in the dirt, or smashing their remains. These were thought to be the best way to deal with people whose differences couldn't be explained by the science at the time, or by religion, or by anything else in this earthly realm. By default, something else obviously had to be behind it, like vampirism or witchcraft, and the resulting anxiety led people to take drastic measures. Which brings us back to the young woman's tooth. Whether it was her prominent tooth, a physical disability, her mental state, or even just her gender, researchers suggest mainstream society likely thought she stood out, and accused her of being supernatural as a result. Women often found themselves the targets of this sort of suspicion, with potential red flags, including super common things like deciding not to marry, having a miscarriage, or not menstruating.
Dang, times have changed. That's pretty creepy.
False. President Biden says he wants 50% of new cars to be electric by 2030.
True, but I guess now it's 60%.
True or false? A typical electric car requires 6 times the mineral inputs of a conventional car.
Yes.
If 50% of the cars were electric vehicles today, is there enough power on the electric grid to charge them all?
Absolutely not. No.
You said in your written statement, Mr. Bradbury, I'm going to quote you, if every country in the world achieved its stated EV targets by 2030, the total savings in carbon dioxide emissions would be expected to reduce global temperatures by only 0.0002 degrees Fahrenheit by the year 2100. Given this fact, is it unilaterally gutting the U.S. auto market, critical mineral supply chain, and the grid stability? Is that the solution for addressing the temperature goals?
Well, I don't think so.
Then that can only mean you only want me to get that electric car so you can turn it off when you want to.
Giants are actually real. Yes, you heard that right. Everyone knows that giants existed in the past. But what if I told you they still exist in 2023? In 2021, a man called Jack Moore spotted a giant at the top of a mountain in Canada. He posted his discovery on TikTok. But soon after, he claimed that multiple black cars, all similar to typical CIA vehicles, were constantly in front of his house. But what happens next will leave you speechless. A few days after this claim, he posted an extremely unnatural video to his account, claiming that the videos he posted were edited, and many people claimed that it seemed like he was forced. But this isn't even the craziest part. After this video, no videos appeared on his account, and his followers were confused and started to conduct research online, and they found something extremely dark. They found out that Jack Moore had recently passed away under mysterious circumstances. What is your opinion about this disturbing story? Subscribe and send it to a friend for part 2.
That means the video he had must have been real, not all this other CGI stuff.
So I was approached by FBI agents, black ones, who cared about me. I've had 2 or 3 FBI agents who pulled me to the side. They came to my event and said, listen, you need to be careful. They're watching you. I work for the Bureau. You can't trust nobody. You can't trust the women you sleep with. You can't trust your family. They said, consider every device you got is bugged. Your phones, everything. Everywhere you go, they're watching you. I was told this multiple times by black FBI, so
I believe that.
Here's my thing. I believe it too, and I don't give a shit.
Yeah, straight up.
Here's my thing. Because you can't care. I'm going to tell you why.
What? Yeah.
I want you to go on YouTube and listen to some of Malcolm X's friends talk about Malcolm's last days. Listen to some of Dr. King's comrades talk about Dr. King's last days. What did they say about Malcolm and Doc? They said that they got so overwhelmed with the paranoia of being murdered that they felt they secretly wished to be dead. The fear of death became greater than death itself. That they felt that in those moments when they died, they might have took a sigh of relief. Because every day you wake up, you don't know. Exactly.
Yeah,
is the bullet coming from here?
Yeah.
Is the bullet coming from here?
You can't
Are
care.
they going to kill my children? Remember, they bombed Dr. King's house twice. You feel me? They bombed Malcolm house the week before, right? So I don't ever want to get like that. I don't ever want to get like that. So for me, I understand the risks. I'm no Superman. I take my precautions as I need to. But my stability is in my relationship with Supreme Consciousness. This is why I'm Ifa devotee. So I practice the spiritual system of the Yoruba peoples of Nigeria. I'm all about African spirituality. It's what liberated Haiti. It's what's going to liberate us. So as far as I'm concerned, whenever the Lord is ready for me to come back home, I'm ready to go back home.
You ain't tripping off nothing.
I'm not tripping off nothing. And I don't want people around me tripping. Because here's one of the, I just had this conversation last night. I be getting these texts from ninjas, right? They be like, Dr. Umar, don't end up like Malcolm. Don't end up like... Later for that shit. Stop putting that shit around me. Because I'm not thinking about that. You understand me?
Yep.
I don't know how I leave this earth. None of us do. But I don't need you filling my atmosphere with all this fear. Don't end up like Malcolm. Don't end up like Fred Hampton. Keep your scary ass where you at. But I don't live my life under fear. Stop coming around me with all that fear talk. Because when I look at Biggie and Pac, and Pac my favorite rapper of all time, and I love Big too, but Pac was my favorite. I believe they played a small role in their own demise because they constantly thought about it, and spoke on it. And every religion teaches that there is power in the tongue.
Yes.
In fact, in Yoruba culture, you know what we call it? Afo, Ashe. Afo, word. Ashe, power. We're taught, be careful what you articulate out of your mouth, because this throat chakra can activate those words and bring the thing that you don't want into existence. So we have to be very careful, because as the Bible says, and I'm not a Christian, but there's truth in the Bible when it says life and death are in the power of the tongue. And I think that Pac and Big, like Malcolm and Martin, although I don't compare the latter two to the former two in any way, shape, form, or fashion, Pac and Big were not Malcolm and Martin at all.
Yeah, I get the
I think all 4 of them inadvertently and unintentionally
spoke it into their life.
Spoke some of it. I'm not saying that's the reason they left.
Yeah.
I'm saying they gave it energy.
Yeah.
I'm not giving that shit no energy.
Yeah.
I personally believe 1,000% in the power of the tongue. You create how your life is going to look based on what you keep repeating. So say good things to yourself, treat yourself well, and there we go.
As you just heard, a federal grand jury in San Diego has indicted a United States Navy sailor for acting as a spy for China in exchange for thousands of dollars. The sailor, Jing Xiaowei, was arrested by FBI and NCIS agents yesterday as he arrived for work at Naval Base San Diego around 5:20 a.m. Wei, a 22-year-old naturalized U.S. citizen, was indicted on espionage charges. He is accused of betraying his newly adopted country by stealing national defense information and selling it to his Chinese spy master. The crime of espionage under Section 794, to our knowledge, has never been charged in this district, and until today has only been charged 5 times in the last 6 years across the entire country. The statute's reserved for the most serious circumstances involving the passage of national defense information intended to harm the United States or for the benefit of a foreign power. The fact that we've charged it in this case in San Diego is a reflection of the seriousness of Wei's alleged conduct. Wei was assigned to the USS Essex in San Diego. It's an amphibious assault ship that resembles a small aircraft carrier. When deployed, these ships carry over 1,000 sailors and more than 1,500 Marines, along with fighting equipment, including Harrier jets, hovercrafts, armored vehicles, and helicopters. These ships are a crucial part of America's readiness to combat threats all around the world. Our indictment alleges that Wei was approached by a Chinese intelligence officer while his application to become a United States citizen was pending. Wei admitted to his handler that he knew this activity would be viewed as spying and could affect his pending citizenship application. Rather than report the contact, which he was trained to do, he chose instead to hide it. Whether it was greed or for some other reason, Wei allegedly chose to turn his back on his newly adopted country and enter a conspiracy with his Chinese handler. Our indictment alleges that over the course of more than a year and on multiple occasions, Wei sent national defense information to China, including documents, photos, videos, and technical manuals. In exchange, his intelligence officer paid Wei thousands of dollars. The officer even congratulated him when he became a U.S. citizen in May of 2022. Throughout this relationship, Wei provided his Chinese handler with information regarding the defense and weapons capabilities of U.S. Navy ships, potential vulnerabilities of these ships, and information related to ship movement. The unauthorized disclosure of this national defense information could place the national security of the United States and the safety of Wei's fellow U.S. Navy sailors.
He was on his way to get his citizenship and got distracted by a few $1,000s when he could have just stayed down, came up with a plan, became a citizen, and figured out a way to make some millions. And now he'll never see that in America, at least. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate every single one of you for stopping by and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, share it with somebody, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.